Hi, my name is Sandy Wagner. I'm managing broker for the Poquoson Office of William E. Wood & Associates Realtors. I'm here today to share with you our vision for the year 2010 in the Poquoson office. To help share that vision, I have a symbol to show you as well as a story to tell. Here we have an example of a mature wheat plant. There are many parts to a wheat plant, one of which you can't see is the fibrous root system, which helps to feed the plant. You have the main stalk, which helps to support the actual wheat head. It's in the wheat head where you would find the wheat floret, which contains the wheat seed, which contains the wheat germ, all very important parts to the mature wheat plant. Now for the story. The wheat plant fits in a story about a man's life. The man's name is Norman Borlaug. Norman Borlaug was born in 1914 in Iowa, and he was quite a normal person. He was of superior intellect, however, as you'll go to realize later on. But he was quite normal in that he played baseball, he played football, he wrestled for the high school team, and he took the advice of his grandfather. The advice his grandfather gave him back in the early 1900s, probably before the Depression actually, was he said, "Son, you're wiser to fill your head now so that you may fill your belly later." Well, Norman took that to heart and decided to leave the farm in Iowa and seek higher formal education. Well, about 30 years later, in 1942, he actually graduated from the University of Minnesota with a doctorate in plant physiology and genetics. What he was excited about doing was to discover ways to create and to produce higher yielding, disease resistant wheat varieties that he could take all across the world and show other countries how to plant and how to harvest. One of the early things that happened to him in the 1930s, which helped to shape his desire to go all around the world, was he would have to leave his education at times to work because he had to fund his own education. And one of these jobs that he had brought him close to people who were literally starving. And he later recalled he saw how food changed them and how that left scars on him. So seeing how food changed starving people gave him the gumption to go and do what he later did in his life. In July 1944, he headed to Mexico under a co-op program between the U.S. and Mexico. And what he and his team of researchers were to do was to help the Mexican people learn how to use advanced farming techniques and advanced technology in raising the production from their wheat fields. Now, at the time, Mexico was using one growing season out of the year, when it actually had two growing seasons. What they had to do was to produce wheat varieties that were able to produce during different temperatures and different altitudes for these two growing seasons. The team successfully was able to use science and technology to create these varietal wheat plants, and the actual wheat production in Mexico more than quadrupled during this time. Mr. Borlaug and his team throughout the years, the next 20 years, was able to take these new techniques with modern agricultural developments to different parts of the world, to include the countries of Pakistan, India, and then eventually Asia and Africa. And because of the widespread use of the new varietals and with the agricultural developments, Mr. Borlaug is credited with saving over 1 billion people from starvation. And that time frame was called the Green Revolution. And for that, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1970. Now, during his time, he did have many critics because of some of his technological advances, because of his desire to use technology for the benefit of increasing food production. There was also a time in his career where he thought, and he promoted his position, that we would not create enough food in this world to feed the population if the population continued to grow at the rate it was growing during the 1960s. So his position was that we needed to take steps to decrease population growth. Because he was a man of intelligence and a man that was willing to use and to foster new ways to do things, he did change his position. He later decided, and he spoke of it in the year 2000, that population control was not the answer. You can't control the population. Just as we can't in today's market or in any market in the future that we don't know yet, we cannot control the market. All we can control is how we react to the market and how we use the tools that we develop and that we educate ourselves with to foster profitable times in different markets, in different economies. So, to get back to Mr. Borlaug, what he changed his position was, he said, we can't control the population. However, I do believe at this time, with the technology that we have and with the advanced research that is in the pipeline, we don't need to control population. We can, however, can control and increase our production, so much so that we can feed 10 billion people by the year 2020. Now, you may ask how this is feeding into the vision here at Poquoson. Well, I believe at William E. Wood & Associates, we've continued to educate our agents, our managers, our directors. We continue to use tools that are the first in the industry to be used. We are a company that is the best in the business, and we continue to be the leader in providing for our clients and customers the services that they need and the services that are required to get people where they need to be in the time that they deem necessary. Through instrumental programs like Ninja Selling, absorption rate pricing versus traditional methods of CMA pricing, we have put ourselves on the leading edge of education and of information in today's market. We've been able to bring about information for our clients and customers through our agents, how to sell a home in a down market and how to buy in a down market. And I'm sure, as markets always do, as this market changes and becomes different, we will once again position ourselves to provide the services that are effective in a market that we don't have control over. Now, back again to our vision and how this wheat plant relates. If we can create an environment of production, of using new tools, of researching, of using technology, of giving the consumer what they want in a fashion that they embrace, we will continue to be the leader in our industry. We will produce more bread to share with our clients and our customers so that everybody affiliated with William E. Wood & Associates, our agents and their families, our sellers and their families, our buyers, our corporation, will all be able to share in the wealth of increased production. So for the year 2010, our theme is 2010, the wonder year. Let's put more bread on the table of those people we interact with, including ourselves, and we'll see a wonderful year ahead. Bon appetit.